Okay, so let's continue our discussion on the application of diodes. Okay, so there are very specially designed fabricated diodes. Okay, we are using in optoelectronic devices. So optoelectronic is an okay. So again, it is an okay. So it is a branch of electronics which deals with the study of electronic circuits where this light is involved. Okay, so here in optoelectronic circuits we are dealing with the interconversion of electrical signal into light signal or light signal into an electrical signal. Okay, so for our discussion we are studying three type of special PN junction diodes. They are light emitting diodes, photodiodes, and the solar cells. So also, it is called as photovoltaic cell, where we study how this electrical energy get converted to light energy, or how this light energy get converted into an electrical energy. So our first discussion is about photodiodes. Okay, photodiode. Okay, so it is a specially fabricated PN junction diode, where this diode detect light. Okay, it detect photon, therefore it is called photo diode, or it is also called as photo detector diode. Okay, so photodiode, or it is also called as photo detector diode. This particular diode, it detect light photon. Okay, so now we will study how this diode detect light photon. So first of all, this diode. Okay, as you know that the diode is nothing but a PN junction. Okay, so what is meant by PN junction? PN junction means some P type of material on the one side, on the other side you have the N type of material. P type of material can be constructed by using adding of trivalent impurity atom, and N type of material can be constructed by using adding pentavalent impurity atoms. Then on one side you have the more number of electrons, majority of electrons. On the other side you have the majority of holes, that is nothing but vacancy of electrons. So when you combine this P and N, as we already know that it creates, okay, a junction is created. A junction is created between P and N. Why this junction is created? Now see here, N means what? It contains more number of electrons, excess of electrons, therefore it becomes a negatively charged, therefore you are calling it as N type of material. On the other side, you have an deficiency of electrons, so you have the net charge of that material is positive, therefore you are calling it as P type of material. When you combine, okay, it is not a physical combination, some techniques are there. By using that techniques, if you combine P and N type of material, then the diffusion take place, because some place the concentration of electron is more, on the other place the concentration of electron is less, therefore electrons flow from higher concentration to lower concentration. Therefore here the atom loses the electrons, it becomes a positive charge. On the other side, on the P type, it gains the electrons, so it becomes an negative charge. Okay, so it goes on like this. Okay, so on the other one side you have the positive. Okay, because here excess of electrons, you have an atom with an additional electron. Okay, but here on the P side you have an atom with an hole deficiency, therefore this atom loses the electron and it is gained by the atom on the other side. So this process continues. Okay, so you are getting On one side you are getting the positive ions. Again this diffusion process continues. Okay, but not all the atoms, all the electrons in this p and n type material undergoes diffusion region, as we already studied that. So that it attains an equilibrium where this there is one more current is generated due to the flow of electrons, that is drift current, and the flow of electrons in this case it is called diffusion current. When your diffusion current become equal to the drift current, it stops. Okay, so therefore junction is created between p type and n type of material. That junction is called p-n junction, and this region is also called as depletion region, where there is no free charges. Okay, so that region is called depletion region. So when you look at this depletion region, okay, you can see that on one side you have the positive type of ions. So on this side the charge of the material becomes net positive, on the other side it becomes net negative. So it behaves like a small battery. Okay, so barrier, now that is a depletion region, it does not allow the further movement of electrons, therefore we call it as barrier. So this barrier, in that barrier it creates a potential, and we call that potential as barrier potential. 0.7 for silicon. Okay, so we already know this data here. Okay, so this one is very small, but definitely it has some finite value of barrier potential. Okay, so now these are the some basic knowledge of p-n junction diodes which are studied in our earlier classes. Today our discussion is about photodiode. So the photodiode is nothing but p-n junction diode only, but this a particular region. Okay, it is transparent. Now this is transparent, some glass is put so that light can fall on this depletion region, therefore it is specially made p-n junction diode, and this diode is connected in a reverse bias. If you want to use this diode as an photo detector, then it must be connected in reverse bias. So what is meant by reverse bias? If p type of diode, if the p end of the diode is connected to negative terminal of the battery, if the n is connected to positive terminal of the battery, then such kind of diodes are called, then the such kind of biasing is called reverse bias. So what happens during the reverse bias? As you know that, so for the reverse bias, I should draw this graph in the third quadrant. Reason is it is the reverse. You are considering that you are reversing the voltage. Therefore, you are not drawing the voltage in the first quadrant, the positive x-axis, but you are drawing in the negative x-axis, and corresponding current you take in the negative y-axis. As we know that, so during the reverse bias, actually there is no flow of electrons take place. Reason is the barrier. Okay, so the electrons couldn't flow from n to p. Reason is the barrier. A barrier is created. Now that barrier, it opposes the flow of electrons. As you know that, so the majority of electrons are in the n type. But what is meant by p? P means where the net charge is positive. That means more number of holes compared to electrons. In the p, the majority are holes. But remember one thing, that there are minority charge carrier also. That minority charge carriers are nothing but electrons. Okay, but that electrons, they can move from p to n. Okay, only barrier is for, okay, which electron should have more energy to cross the junction. The electrons present in the n region, they should have more energy to cross this one. But the electrons present in the electron, they can easily come to n, but their number is small because they are minority charge carriers. So if I consider this battery, external battery is having a voltage of 3 volt, then initially initially. You can observe this one initially. If this is 3 volt, so now the two, so this is 3 volt is an external power supply. You can see that inside the semiconductor diode a barrier is created, and that barrier produce certain voltage. How much it is? 0.7 volt. When you connect a battery in a reverse bias, okay, you can see that, you can see here this battery positive terminal, the battery negative terminal, they supply certain amount of energy to the diodes in such a manner that you can see here now this electrons, this particular electrons, okay, so they can move from, now this particular electrons present in the p type, it is now p type of electrons, they are repelled by the positive terminal of the battery, they are attracted toward the negative terminal of the battery, therefore they can move from, p type to n type. Now such kind of motion is called, now that electrons are called minority electrons. So when you supply the external battery, you can observe some small value of current. Now these are current are very small, therefore I take this current in terms of microammeter. So the current is very small, microampere. So this, the flow of electron produce certain current. Now that current is called minority current. Okay, now this current is very small, it is very small, and it is due to the minority charges present in the p type of material, therefore it is called minority current. Sometimes it is also called as reverse current, because the current is in reverse bias, it is called reverse current. So as these electrons are crossing this barrier, you can see that, so you will get certain amount of current. If I take an ideal diode, then the graph is like this. Whatever be the voltage, your current is 0. So we are neglecting the concept of minority current, but in practical cases this is not true. Even though in a reverse bias you have some small value of current due to the presence of minority charge carriers, okay, you have some current. As you increase the voltage, okay, as you, if I consider this one as a variable watt battery, first you have the 0 volt, then you have some 0.1, then 1, then 2, then 3, like this, okay, 1.1, 1.2, then 2, then 2.1. So as you increasing the potential of the battery, then it supply more energy to the electron, so its kinetic energy increases, so it take less time to cross the junction, so that it take the less time for the flow, therefore the current increases. Okay, as the voltage increases, you can see that, now this current also increases. Okay, even though it is small, but you can observe the increase in current here. Okay, so current is increasing. So as the electron crosses from p to n type, you can see that the electrons present in this part, okay, so as they are crossing from this part to this part, okay, so here this electrons, so there may be, you will find some deficiency of electrons here, and on the other side, when this electron comes to here, so in the n type the majority of electrons, but there are certain holes also. When this electron combines with this hole, so there may be some deficiency of holes also, so therefore now some gap is created here. Okay, so near to the depletion region some vacancy is created. As the vacancy is created, so this depletion region start increasing its width. Okay, as you can see that now these are the positive and positive, okay, negative and negative ions. On the other side you have the positive and positive ions, so that negative, there may be, okay, so electrostatic force here, that is a repulsion in nature. If they find certain gap on the other side, definitely they try to go away from each other. So during this process, there is small increase in barrier width. Okay, there may be increase in barrier width. As you know that if the barrier width increases, what is the relation between potential electric field and distance? Okay, if E is the electric field, V is the potential difference between the 2 points, and if is D is the distance between the 2 points, then what is V? V is given by V is equal to E into D. So as you can see that if D increases, automatically your V also increases. So your potential is increasing. Okay, so your potential start increases. So zero point 0.7 it becomes 1 if the process goes on continuous. If you are increasing the battery potential, more number of electron cross through the junction. As more number of electron cross through the junction, you are getting more amount of current. So therefore this width goes on increases. So it becomes 0 0.7, 0 0.8, 0 0.9. Finally when it becomes 3 volt. Okay, let me consider that it becomes an 3 volt. Your barrier potential also becomes, the width of the barrier potential goes on increases. Finally it becomes an 3 volt. Then this process stops. The flow of electron stops. The width of the now barrier remains constant. Reason is, just think like that. So this is your barrier potential, which is now has an voltage of 3 volt. On the other side you have a battery whose potential is also 3 volt. Now they are connected parallel. As you can see that when the current flows from higher potential to lower potential. Initially the potential of the battery is more compared to barrier, therefore current flows from the battery to the diode. Okay, now in this case you can see that now both potentials are same, both voltages are same. Here is also 3 volt, barrier potential also 3 volt, therefore current doesn't flows through the circuit. You can see that as they are flowing in the same direction, therefore they definitely get cancelled. Therefore the net current flowing through the circuit is 0, it stops. So as you voltage increases, the current goes on increases, but whenever barrier potential becomes equal to the supply voltage, then current remains constant. Are you getting me? So this becomes an saturated. The current becomes saturated. Now this current is called reverse saturation current. So current becomes constant. And this is called reverse saturation. Reverse saturation current. Okay. So now come to our topic, that is photodiode. Okay. So photodiode means it detects light. So far we have not used any light here, external light. So now this is the general features of the semiconductor diode in reverse bias. But if I consider this topic of photodiode, now already I have some reverse saturation current before the application of light. Therefore, we call this current as dark current. Now, some current is already present in the semiconductor diode. You have not applied any light on the diode. Therefore, I call this current as the dark current. Okay, so some naming it is, they are calling it as dark current. Now see, when light is incident on this particular diode, so let me consider that the barrier potential still it is 3 volt only. When light falls on, now this diode is specially designed in such a way that now this light falls on the depletion region or near to the depletion region. So light is considered to be photons, particles, and having an energy of h nu. If you consider light as an packets of energy, photons, what is the energy of each photon? The energy of each photon is h nu. So when the photon having an energy of each photon having an energy of h nu and falls on the depletion region. See, now look at here, what happens here? You can see that there are a large number of atoms are there. For the sake of discussion, we have taken only those atoms which loses the electrons or which gains the electrons. But other than, you have large number of electrons which are involved in the covalent bond also. Okay, if you take some particular atoms here, if you take some particular atoms, okay, so now this is an atom which contains one, still it has some one extra electron. You can see that when light falls on it, as you study the atomic physics, if you take the atom, if this atom contains only one electron, for an example, it's a hydrogen. If you supply certain energy, external if energy, okay, if that energy is equal to or greater than the excitation energy, then what happens? Electron comes out from the atom. Are you getting me? So electrons comes out from the atom. So same here. If you supply energy to an atom here, okay, so if that atom, okay, if that energy removes an electron, if that energy removes an electron, then what happens? As we study in our before classes, it creates an hole. A hole is created in that place of electron. In that particular place of an covalent bond, a hole is created. So this incident photon, when it falls on the p-n junction diode, it creates a pair of electrons and holes. So electrons and holes are created in pair. So can you see that? So in this particular region, whatever may be here or here it also. So an electron and one hole is created. Electrons and holes are created. Okay. So I can see that as electrons and holes are created. Now see, so here it is having some electric field. One side you have the positive charge, on the other side you have the negative charge. So what is the direction of electric field in the barrier? The direction of the electric field is from positive to negative. The direction of electric field is always from positive to negative. And an electron in an electric field, it experiences a force. Now that formula of the force is given by F is equal to E into E. As the electron is negative, you can write F is equal to minus E into E. That means what? Electron in an electric field, a free electron. Okay, now this electron is free now. This is free from the atom. Now the free electron in an electric field, it experiences a force in a direction opposite to the direction of electric field, because as the force and electric field are vector quantities. Okay, they are the vector quantities. So minus sign indicates that direction of force on the electron and the direction of electric field, they are opposite. That means if this is the direction of electric field, then electrons experience a force along the opposite direction. Therefore, this electron start moving in the opposite direction. It comes here on the other side. Are you getting me? So this electron move towards this particular region. Okay, so now electrons start moving here. Okay, so when they comes to the other side, there may be possibility that now that electrons recombine with holes. Okay, or they come here, they recombine with hole, so that atom become atom become an neutral. Then again this process continues. There is one more electron is there which can absorb this electron to its region. So this particular electrons move from this point to this point. Similarly, this particular electron can move from this point to this point. Okay, so you can see that these electrons are moving from, okay, they are moving opposite to the direction of electric field. On the other side, the holes are there. Okay, the direction of holes is opposite to the direction of electrons. Holes means what? Deficiency. Therefore, this electron can fill this hole. Okay, so that means what? This hole is now moving from this point to this point. Same here, electron can fill this hole. If electron can fill this hole here, so this part becomes neutral, but this part becomes, it will get hole, same like this. So hole is moving in the opposite direction and electrons are moving along this direction. So the flow of electron takes place. Okay, you will get a flow of electrons. Simultaneously, now see here, if this particular part loses the electron, okay, if this particular part loses the electron, on the other side, if the particular part loses the hole, because electrons and holes are created in the depletion region, they are losing the electrons, they are losing the holes, then what happens? Very simple, this width of the depletion region is decreasing now, it becomes thin. Okay, they have some positive, they have some negative, that axis of holes, that axis of electrons. Are you getting me? As the electrons and holes are created, they are moving out from the depletion region, therefore this region, this the width of the region is now becoming thin. Now they are decreasing, they are decreasing. As you can see that if the width is decreasing, if the width is decreasing, then potential is also decreases. Now 3 volt becomes, let me assume that it becomes a 2 volt. Okay, so now you can say that now this is 3 volt, now this is 3 volt, 2 volt, so there is a possibility that so current can flow from now supply to diode. Now how the current flows here? Very simple. Now see, so finally this electron come to the on the other side, then you have the hole on the other side. So this battery apply force of repulsion on the electron and it is supply that electron to the on the other side. So the flow of electron take place. Okay, so its voltage is greater than barrier potential, so current flows from battery to this one, and the direction of current is opposite to the direction of electron. This is the direction of current and this is the direction of electron. Now that free electron, you can see here that free electron circulate through this circuit. So this time you are getting a current. Okay, so it continues until when it becomes some 3 volt, but this process you are simultaneously putting some light on the PN junction diodes, electrons and holes are created, so these electrons come to the one side and holes comes to the one side, so this process goes on continuous. Okay, so this time again you are getting minority current. Now these electrons are minority only, okay, their number is small, you are getting some minority current, but this time it is due to application of light. When light falls on it, when light falls on it, you are getting electron and holes pairs, and that movement of electron produce current, and that current is greater than dark current. The reason is, see, already have certain dark current without application of light. Now you are applying the additional energy, light energy, so therefore you have more number of electrons now. Therefore same process, as your voltage goes on increases, your the current goes on increases. Okay, you have the more number of electrons here, and finally when that voltage becomes equal to the barrier potential, again this phenomena stops. This time you are getting a current due to light, due to the presence of light. Okay, due to the presence of light. Therefore finally your diode is detecting light. If light falls on it, if light falls on it, if you are getting some larger current here, that means what? The light is falling on the diode. Okay, whether the light is the presence of the light is detected by the diode. Okay, in a room, if there is some light is there, if you want to detect that light, then you can use photo detector diodes. Okay, so now that is a use here. So in a book, some a graph is given in such a way that if you increase the intensity, this reverse current also increases. What is meant by intensity in case of quantum theory? In case of photon, what is intensity? Number of photons passing. Okay, so it is the number of photons passing through a unit area in unit second. So more is the intensity, means you have the more number of photons. Okay, if 100 photons, and as we study in case of atomic theory, it is one to one collision. Einstein says that it is one to one collision. One photon produce one electron. So if there are 100 photons falls on the p-n junction, then 100 electrons are created. If you increase the intensity, that means what? You are increasing the number of photons. As the number of photons increases, the number of electrons also increases. And current is nothing but the flow of charges, flow of electrons. Therefore you are getting more current. So as the intensity increases, if you take this one, I1, I2 and I3, okay, where I3, the intensity I3 is greater than intensity I2 is greater than intensity I1. So as the intensity goes on increases, the photocurrent also increases. Okay, so now this is about the photodiode. Photodiodes are nothing but they detect the light. So you can find number of applications of the photodiodes. Okay, the TV remote, you can see that when you press that remote, a light is created. That is nothing but LED. Okay, but on the other side, you have TV. In that a sensor is there. That sensor is nothing but photo detector diode. It detect the light, okay, which is nothing but IR radiation. Okay, we can't see that particular light because it is beyond red region, visible region. It is IR. So, but that particular diode detect infrared radiation, and our TV will become on. So that's the best example for photo detector diode. Okay, so we used in case of counting machines. Okay, counting machines. Okay, so you have some light here. On the other side you have the photo detector diode. Okay, if one material passes here, so initially you are getting certain current. So when one material comes in between this, see the path between the light and the detector, then current on the other side it stops. If it stops, it is programmed in such a manner that some programming is there. It is programmed in such a manner that it is counted as one. Okay, so they are used in some counting. Okay, so they are in some practical purpose they are. Okay, so to get finite value of thickness of the sheet, they are using the photo diodes. Okay, so they are putting some sheet like this. This is light. On the other side you have the photo detector diode. If that thickness, if thickness is something around 1 millimeter, then light passes through the 1 millimeter. On the other side you will get a current, and it allows to, okay, this particular machine allow to material to pass through it. If this thickness become greater than 1 millimeter, then what happens? The current, for an example, the light doesn't pass through it, or it has intensity has been decreased. So the photo detector detect no current or lesser current, then the particular machine blocks this sheet. Okay, so by we can have large number of applications like this. Next we will go for, okay, so next we will go for light emitting diodes, LED. Okay, so what is LED? Light emitting diode. Okay, so this time you are supplying electrical energy and you are getting some light. So therefore it is called light emitting diode. Again, it is a specially made p-n junction diode, which is okay, so highly, so concentrated. You have the more number of electrons and holes here. So last in the last case we have taken the photodiodes. The photodiodes are used in reverse bias, and this time LEDs, they are used in a forward bias. So again it is a p-n junction. Again on one side you have the p type, on the other side you have the n type of material. So on the p side, okay, so on the n side, so this time it is forward bias. Forward bias means positive is connected to positive of the battery, and negative, this time it is connected to n type, is connected to negative of the battery. Okay, now this is called forward bias. Some barrier is there. It doesn't allow the, okay, initially it doesn't allow the flow of electron. Some barriers there. So again, let me start here. So when you increase the, okay, so already we study the forward bias characteristic of semiconductor diode. As you increase the voltage, the width of the barrier decreases. As the width of the barrier decreases, now the okay, so width of the barrier decreases, simultaneously the kinetic energy of the electron also increases. Therefore electrons can easily move through the barrier, they can cross the barrier, and you are getting a current like this. Okay, some particular graph is like this. If plot the graph of voltage versus current, you are getting a graph like this. Up to certain voltage there is no current, that voltage is called cut-in voltage, and if you cross that cut-in voltage you will get some large amount of current. Okay, now this is the characteristic of an diode. Now this time LED. Okay, now these are the specially designed diode. Like this, we are using certain special type of alloys materials like gallium arsenide phosphide to get different colors for LED. You will get different colors like red, orange, and yellow by using the gallium arsenide phosphide. So these are the specially designed PN junction diode. Okay, now see here. So during forward bias, electrons move from N to P or P to A. Okay, so they move from N to P. You can see that now this is negative. Now electrons are there. Okay, so they can cross through the barrier. Then they go to the on the other side. In the N, majority of electrons, and in the P, there are majority of holes. Okay, now this time, in case of LEDs, they are okay. So you have the more number of electrons, they are highly concentrated, so that on the one side you have the more number of electrons, on the other side you have the more number of holes. It is highly doped. Okay, so compared to ordinary diode, in this LED they are highly doped. They have the more number of electrons here and more number of holes here. So when electrons cross this barrier, so in case of this specially designed diodes, there is a more possibility of an electron cross this barrier. There are large number of holes are there. So this electron can recombine. These electrons can recombine with the hole. In the last case, electrons and holes pairs are created. Okay, but this time the recombination take place. Electrons recombine with the holes. The doping concentration is more, so you have the more possibility of this recombination. Now see here, what happens if this recombination take place? So as you know that in our first lecture we have taken some concept of band theory of solids. Okay, but it's not 100% true. In higher level you are going to study like this. So bands are not like this. So bands are somewhat for the p type, on this like this for the n type. Okay, so conduction band and okay, valence band is not aligned in the same line. So someone has higher potential and this one has some lower potential like this. But in a lower class, to for the sake of easiest explanation, let me assume. Okay, so let me take a simple picture like this. So you have the conduction band, you have the valence band. Electrons, the free electrons present in the conduction band, and in valence band they are bounded. So when you supply certain energy to the electrons present in the conduction band, now that energy should be greater than this energy. Now this energy is called energy gap. It is the energy between the highest energy level of valence band to lowest energy level of the conduction band. Now that part is forbidden, and that particular energy gap is nothing but Eg. Is a different for different diodes. The composition of the material depend on the composition of material. If you supply energy, external energy greater than that Eg, then the possibility that electron can jump from valence band to conduction band. When they go to the conduction band, electrons become free. When you apply the electric field, they start conducting Therefore, that electrons are called conduction electrons. Therefore, we call this band as conduction band. So when this electron is absent in this particular place, now this creates an vacancy, and we call that vacancy as hole. So it creates a hole here, and here I have an extra electron. Now let me think in a reverse manner now. If this electron, if it comes back to its original position, if it jumps from the conduction band to valence band, you can see that the electrons present in the conduction band have more energy compared to electrons present in the valence band. So when this electron recombine with the hole, then it should liberate its excess of energy. Are you getting me? So when electrons recombine, electrons has more energy. When it recombines with the hole, then it should liberate its excess of energy. Now, what is excess of energy? We can clearly see that the excess of energy is Eg, and that energy is Eg. So when this electron jump from conduction band to, when it comes back to the valence band, if that hole is filled, then that excess of energy is emitted in the form of an photon having an energy of hnu. And what is energy of that photon? That energy of the photon should be equal to what? It should be equal to the energy gap. Are you getting me? So therefore, when electrons and holes recombination take place, a photon is liberated. Okay, when you put a diode in a forward bias, a specially designed fabricated diodes in a forward bias, then there may be a possibility of electrons and holes recombination, and that recombination produce energy in the form of an light. Therefore, this time light is emitted from the diode. Therefore, it is called light emitting diode. Okay, and what is the energy? Energy is given by Eg is equal to h nu. And therefore, I can write h nu is equal to energy of that emitted photon is minimum of, it may be greater than all Eg also, minimum of Eg. So therefore I can say that if I write in terms of lambda, what is nu? C by lambda. If I write Sc by lambda is equal to Eg, therefore you can write lambda like this. So what is lambda? Therefore lambda is Hc by Eg. So wavelength of the emitted light depends on energy gap. It is inversely proportional to energy gap. Okay, so in the market we can see that there are various types of diodes are there which emits different colors. Okay, so it all depends on the energy gap. If you take gallium arsenic, if you take the gallium arsenic, its energy gap is approximately, you have some 1.9 electron volt. Then if you calculate 1.9 electron volt, okay, so if you put 1.9 electron in this place of Eg, then you will get the wavelength corresponding to infrared radiations, IR radiations. Okay, so IR radiations, you are getting IR radiations. Okay, so now this is the best composition for diodes for producing the colors, that is gallium arsenic phosphide. It produces main three colors: red, orange and yellow. Okay, now okay, so you are making a alloy. It is, you are combining gallium arsenide and gallium phosphorus. Okay, so it can produce and colors of red. Okay, so like this, so it can produce a red, orange and yellow. It has got some composition x and 1 minus x. Okay, you can refer our in NCERT book, depending on the value of x. Okay, so you can get red color, orange color and yellow color. Okay, so therefore If we take this type of composition, gallium arsenic or some composition like this 0.6 and 0.4 for the phosphide, then you will get a red color emitting LED. So visible range is from, you know, that 400 nanometer to 700 nanometer. 700 nanometer means it is red color. Okay, so 400 nanometer means the violet color. So therefore the energy gap range is from 3 electron volt to 1.8 electron. If your energy gap is around something 1.8 electron, that means you are getting red color emitting diode. If it is around something 3 electron volt, then you will get some violet color emitting diode. Okay, so now it all depends on the wavelength of the emitted light. It depends on the energy gap. Okay, by controlling the energy gap or making a material of an okay, so material having that particular value of energy gap, we can produce various colored LEDs. Okay, you know that LEDs are used in, okay, you know, nowadays we are using in a large scale, we are using LEDs. We have the LED TVs, we have the LED monitors. Okay, so in the headlight of car also we are using LEDs. Your TV remote, it is also an LEDs. Maximum our decorative purposes we are using LED light. They are very cheap. Okay, they require less energy, they can easily fabricated. So therefore we find various applications of light emitting diodes. Okay, so move on to the third type of optoelectronic uh, junction diode, that is a solar cell. It is also called as photovoltaic diode also. Okay, so now the working principle of this one is similar to that of, see, our first one, that is photodiode. But the difference is in case of photodiodes, the photodiode detect light. Okay, it detect light. But here in solar cell, the almost 90% of the function is same. But here we are converting light energy into an electrical energy. Okay, so by using the solar radiations, we are creating a voltage here. Therefore it is called photovoltaic cell also. See, the construction is very simple. So again, it is a PN junction diode. You have P type and you have an N type, but thickness they are not same here. The silicon P type of silicon wafer, the small thickness. Okay, so wafer means the it is having a thin film wafers. So having a thickness of something around 300 micrometer, and N type on the top, it has N type having a thickness of 0.3 micrometer. The thickness of the N should be less than thickness of P. Reason is when light falls on this PN junction, see, when light first interact on the N side, that now that interaction it may produce the liberation of electrons and holes. So now that things we don't require here. So it should directly go to the junction between the N and P. Therefore you are keeping this thickness of N material as small as possible, so that this light, maximum percentage of light, must reach to that depletion region. Okay, are you getting me? Therefore we are keeping the thickness of this N as small as possible. Then you have the two contacts here. Now this is okay, so on the lower side of the P, okay, it is kept on some metal for the contact purpose. Okay, for the contact purpose you are keeping some metal on P. Now that contact he is calling it as back contact, and this contact is called front contact. So you can see that now that front contact, they are in the form of fingers. You cannot take large sheet on this. Okay, so just like your back contact, so it is a complete metal. You can't take the same type of arrangement on the top side. The reason is if you take such kind of arrangement on the top side, then directly the light falls on that particular metal. Some other interaction take place. We have to avoid this one. Therefore, we are taking the contact in the form of fingers. They are very thin, so that they are the if you take the overall percentage of the size of this front contact, NCERT book saying that it is around something 15%. That means what, 85% of the light falls directly on the depletion region between the PN junctions. Okay, are you getting me? See, when light falls on this PN junction, what happens? Now, same as that of study we study in the photo detector diode, photodiodes. When this light falls on the depletion region, electrons and holes are created. Okay, light falls on this particular atom, so that atom loses the electron. As the atom loses the electron, vacancy is created. Now that vacancy is called hole. Therefore, electrons and holes are created in pair. Okay, so that depletion region. Okay, so as we study in the photodiodes, the same behavior. That depletion region, the electric field created in the depletion region, it makes to travel electron on the one side, hole on the other side. Electrons goes to the N type and holes goes to the P side. So electrons comes on the other side, on the N side, and holes go to the P side. Then if the battery is connected, now that circulation of electron take place, and you are going to get current there. Okay, but this time we are not using any battery. We are not biasing this solar cell. We are not using any external battery, because our main aim is to produce its own EMF. Now see here, if you are getting electron on the one side, okay, so finally your electron comes to this front contact, and this holes comes to the back contact. Therefore, your front contact becomes negative, and your back contact becomes positive. Now you have the potential on front contact and back contact. Your back contact is now positive potential, and your front contact is the negative potential. If you connect some load resistor here, if you make the circuit complete, then definitely current flows through the circuit. Therefore, here you converted light energy into an electrical energy. Now that is the principal working of solar cell. Okay, so thank you for your kind attention.